Today, I am talking about the August prediction for Duchess Meghan Markle. It's a big news day for Koberger, for P. Diddy. Interesting that it's all converging at one time. Wow, what do I have for August prediction? It's a big time for Meghan Markle. We're going to look at her solar return chart, and we're going to look at a couple of other charts like Prince Harry's solar return. And if you're interested, you can go to my website and get a solar return reading for yourself. In order to get to your solar return, you're going to go to AstroSeek, pull your birth chart, then you're going to hit the solar return tab and type in the location of your last birthday and of course the year of your last birthday, even if it's 2024. I'm going to click on the solar only tab. Just before I get started here, a lot of people don't understand that if I'm speaking in a way where there might be negative consequences, it doesn't mean that I am not supportive of Meghan and vice versa. If I'm saying something that is positive for her, I'm not necessarily going after Princess Catherine or Prince William or anything like that. Nothing negative about them. So it's really archetypes, it's symbols. And I see Meghan as kind of the enemy of the king energy, at least right now, which is kind of ironic because she has North Node in Leo in her natal chart. So it means that she is destined to be in that royal environment. But right now it's really difficult for her. So I'm going to see month to month what's coming up for her. You're going to get positive and negative in your solar return chart. Challenges, you're going to see people having trouble that people coming into your life that you didn't expect, and also maybe issues that you've got to resolve that you weren't expecting to resolve. This show is really to show you how to look at your own solar return chart. Yes, Jen, just reading charts. Funny, a lot of people do not like her who come on this show. A lot of people love her. So this is her solar. And real quick, then I'm going to go back to my Virgo slide because it's important. This is a Virgo lesson here. Rising sign, Aquarius. People are going to see you as something that is Uranus or Aquarius related, somebody who shocks, somebody who moves, somebody who is dealing with changes, somebody who wants to change. And so what you're going to do is you're going to look at Uranus, which rules her chart that whole year. The red lines are going to show the poor aspects of Aquarius. The blue lines will show the very nice aspects of Aquarius. So for those of you rooting for Meghan, oh boy, is she going to be she's going to be making a lot of money this year because of the second house so well aspected with her chart ruler. It's a wow. The problem is we've got some squares and oppositions to Uranus, which can show that she is shocked, that she has to make uncomfortable changes in the midst of all of this income generation. Virgo, what do you think when you think of Virgo? I think of perfectionist. I think of somebody who is very clean, who can see the imperfection immediately and want to change it. We need the Virgos in our lives to make things more perfect. But poorly aspected, it can show that they sort of turn their radar on a person or a particular person. And it can even though Leo is seen as the bully, Virgos can be kind of in that energy as well, very critical. Like I see it all the time with clients who have a critical mother, or maybe they can't help but be critical of maybe a child. For this purpose, we're going to look at Virgo as accounting, clothing, health, workers, and pets. Those are the general areas of Virgo. Accounting is really interesting. How I pulled that out is because time after time, when I look at clients' charts and they have so much Virgo, usually it's in their 10th house of career or even the first house for their solar return. It shows that there's either accounting issues or they can actually be an accountant, and that's what they're doing that year. They might have an accounting project. So that I think is coming in, and we're seeing it more with Prince Harry, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So yeah, maybe tax issues. Soda pop. Personally, I think she thrives on the love-hate dynamic. Unfortunately, it's costly from a boy, Harry. So you love Harry. Jane, you're watching from Sydney, Australia. Aries, you have a Leo Virgo mother. That is extremely tough. When poorly aspected, you'll have to tell us how you dealt with that kind of energy. They can also be very strong. Leo is very, very strong-willed person. Let's look at Meghan's solar and birth, which I don't do that much, but I think it gives us some hints about her year. So this is basically on the inside. This is her natal chart. So you could see North Node is in Leo. North Node is your basically your purpose. Saturn is really your responsibility. North Node is what you're going to gain in your life. And she would gain a title. And it would be, of course, very controversial. But let's look at the outside here. And I had to note that the Saturn, or the, I'm sorry, the solar return Saturn is opposing Saturn, Moon, Jupiter here. Saturn, Moon, Jupiter, you're going to get a prince, but Saturn, Moon means sad, and Jupiter is a husband. So you kind of gain a sad husband, somebody who is, um, when you're with him, there's a lot of great feelings with your relationship, but for some reason there is a loss. Saturn, Moon. Saturn is also father. So it could be a father who's cold. So a husband with a cold father. So that's what she's receiving in this lifetime. And this year, it looks like Saturn is opposing her, his father or even her father. There's a lot of father energy this year. And then also it looks like a little trouble for Harry. Now, Harry is Jupiter, as it is for anybody's chart. If you're a female, Jupiter's going to be the husband and the seventh house lord for her. She's also going to look at Saturn. So Saturn and Jupiter next to each other, really, really tough energy in that area. So this is going to be somebody around Meghan who's pretty angry. And it doesn't help with her solar return Mars being kind of close to the moon. And that can show having to deal with issues that make you angry, and you have to deal with it. So that is not easy. The good part for her with this chart is that she has Pluto, and it's in a good aspect to this stellium of planets. It's a very powerful combination of four planets with Pluto. Oof. It's in Libra. So this can mean beauty, luxury. I mean, this is the best of the best, but it can also mean courts and learning about the court. It can show unions as well, and also diplomats. So at this point in her solar return, and that's going to be probably around the later part of her year, because the Pluto is in the 12th house for her solar return, it seems like there's some good news coming. Maybe something that has to do with an inheritance, which you would think that she was done with that. Actually, let's pull a card for her for inheritances. Whenever I see Pluto, I think of inheritance, I think of real estate. We want to identify what that Pluto is. What is Meghan receiving this year that has to do with Pluto? Whoa, Five of Swords reversed. She doesn't have a headache anymore. This is a release of something that could be very good. Let's see what clarifier card we get for that Pluto. And this has to do with Meghan Markle and her, I would say probably it's going to be July of next year. What's happening for Meghan in July of next year? Because we've got Pluto in the 12th house, which represents July for her. Ace of Cups. So, well, it seems it's reversed. Seems as if she's trying to get something off the ground. It constantly, every year, seems like there is some kind of obstacle in her way, or the timing is wrong. Leos tend, and this is only from my personal experience, Leos tend to love to deploy during the retrograde season, Mercury retrograde. She did that with Sussex Royal. She did that with numerous things. And it's like you've got to do it twice. It doesn't necessarily mean a fail, but you have to keep relaunching it until you get it right. And why do Leos tend to do that? Because Mercury is following along right along the sun path. And as Mercury goes, and as we experience that Mercury retrograde, the sun those Leos, they're gonna wanna change something. They think really hard, and they're like, "Okay, this is when I'm gonna do it." And it often tends to not be the good time. So, as typical of a Leo, that's what's going on with Megan. So, I know CR user, nice to see you. And, Elphaz, Megan's a Leo, but I don't know why she has a lot of that Aquarius energy, like rebelling against the monarch energy. Yeah, exactly. She's kind of that element, or she has the element of change. The problem with having that, at least from what I see and I observe about her, as well as even myself, because I have a lot of Aquarius energy, but I always like to change things to make things for the better. And people don't like that. People do not like that. They want to just have stability. So you can tend to be seen as someone who shakes something up. Here is her solar return. This is Aquarius. And so we're looking at Uranus. And what I love about any chart that has the chart ruler plus part of fortune, this is extreme success. And so she's definitely finding that. And if you're looking at this chart, sometimes people look at this chart and they're like, this looks a lot like my solar return chart for this year. And yeah, that's probably because maybe you were born around the same time and you're seeing maybe something that's very similar. So this might be able to help you. What we like to do is we like to look at the North Node. What are you going to receive this year? Well, it's not all about money. For her, it is. And it is, woo, really coming in. And what's really interesting is it looks as if there's somebody up there who is helping her in some way. I don't see that person as, it's kind of like somebody you shouldn't trust. They're helping her, but you shouldn't trust that person. Could be somebody from a magazine, ninth house, media, maybe even something from the court that she's receiving. But when you have the North Node, and for the most part, it's in there, you can see the blue lines. That is, you're getting something, girl. And this is going to probably be happening around September 4th. That's when she starts her second house. So that's going to be good for her. Then once we come into September a little bit, this is going to be probably mid-September, something happens with a father, and Saturn is father there. You could see that there is a T square here. And Venus rules the ninth house of press. This could even be a famous female because Cancer shows fame, but somebody wants to stop something, and this person is pretty angry. Now, who this person is, it could be somebody from the family, could be a friend of Harry's because it's the 11th house from the 7th. 7th is Harry. So you would count all the way around to get to the 11th house here. But this is concerning here because of the T square. We don't like T squares, even though they are normal on a solar return chart. But it's almost like this could be a war, and it's somehow the fourth house is the fourth house ruler is Venus. This is her home. Something is happening in her home. And it doesn't look good. It does not look good at all. And we would not want that for anybody. I'm going to pull a card on it in a second, but you can see that Uranus is it whenever it's in the fourth house, it's usually that you're going to completely change your home or you're going to move. I'm going to bet probably to move. And she's either thinking about it in November or she's doing it in November. Why do we see that Uranus there in the fourth house for Meghan? There's a lot of stuff going on right now in California. There are fires. There, Brad Pitt's his mansion. There were thieves that came through. I mean, these places are usually very well secured. But it looks like California is having a real hard time. So why are we seeing that there is Uranus in the fourth house showing moving for Meghan? Oh, looks like an award, something new that's happening. Is she moving into a bigger place or a better place? That's the fire sign, though. So she's looking at fire in front of her. She's in the spotlight. She's definitely in the spotlight in September. Can I get a clarifier card on this? What's happening with her home, with Meghan Markle's home? We've got more Leo. So Leo would be, that's fire, but yet it's strength as well. This again could be an award, it could be something that has to do with royalty. Let me pull again for Meghan Markle, and this is an important and uncomfortable event that's happening, and it's gonna be mid-September. What's the real scoop with Meghan mid-September when it comes to the location in which she lives? More fire, and that is a California card. It would seem that is something if I saw these cards, I would think that she's being inspired to act. So, what is Meghan Markle going to do? This is a catalyst coming up. What is she going to do after this catalyst? So much fire energy. I mean, we just got like three fire cards. What is this going to inspire Meghan to do? More fire. This maybe was a celebration. She had plans. So if you were to see this for yourself and you're looking at something coming up in mid-September. Now, keep in mind, this is around Harry's birthday too. So maybe they want to celebrate and they can't because maybe Prince Harry has to be somewhere. That's possible. Does this have something to do? There's something that makes Meghan very angry here. What is making Meghan angry mid-September? Five of Pentacles. Maybe she's home by herself. Maybe Prince Harry has to do something. Very telling cards. Nine of Swords in reverse, end of a nightmare. That's what you got. Okay. And the verdict for Diddy was so as I predicted here, Inga. Yes. Thank you. We love when our intuitives and psychics come on this channel. It really helps out. Hello, Lisa. And Marsha Meadow, you are the most fair when it comes to her. You don't profit off of negativity and hate posts like many. It's true. And, when I see she's moving, I mean, I got to say she's moving. So, okay. So you got King of Pentacles, the king, but it's also financial. August 4th to probably around mid-August. They're rattling. They're rattling around. This could be an earthquake, either literal or metaphorical. And it's shaking her up a little bit. So what could this be? Well, the other thing too is Uranus is in Gemini. So this could be a group of changes, could be also television as well. There's two things happening at the same time. The television people are very critical as usual because of that Virgo here. And wow, somebody really wants revenge on her because Scorpio's on the other side of it. So she's got to watch her back. Let's see, who could that be? I mean, sometimes it's you that wants the revenge. Then once we get into mid-August to September, then Neptune kicks in. That's when she gets a little pissed. And this has to do possibly with her money. There's something it's like, we told you we were going to give you 20 million. I know that. I know we told you, but we're going to probably give it to you in December. Like that could be a T-square type of thing where somebody behind the scenes blocks it. Yet she's doing okay. You know how I know she's going to do okay with her finances is because she's got North Node in the second house and it's well aspected. And the ninth house also, anytime she is in the news, she makes money. Unfortunately, that's just the way it's got to be. August also activates this opposition with the Sun and Mercury retrograde. That is extreme. That is extreme. It's right here. We've got a group of kings who strike. So I hate to say it that dramatically, but it could happen around her birthday. And sometimes people do things on one's birthday as an act of revenge. So they could do that. But also coming in probably late January as well, the beginning of the year. So this is some kind of war here. And it's pretty bad because of Pluto, which would be like they really want to get you. But then you've got this nice aspect here with Uranus. She's able to flip it. If somebody's trying to bully her, trying to do something through this outlet, whatever it is, she can easily change to something that's going to fit her needs. So, but there is something that is pretty surprising coming in. Like she just cannot believe that this is happening. I have to say though, that one of these planets is Prince Harry. Somebody here, I think this might be a scandal with Prince Harry. The devil card flew out of your deck. There's something big coming with Prince Harry. And this could be right on or around Duchess Meghan's birthday. It has to do with the king. Maybe it has to do with the kingdom. It's shocking. It's pretty shocking. What is going on? Five of Cups, sadness, maybe solitary confinement. Maybe she's alone. Maybe he has to go somewhere. This has to do maybe with some health issues. Does this have to do with King Charles? She's going to have to deal with it and move on. This is moving on and surviving. It was something that was difficult. It was stormy, but now everything's going to start calming down after this. The face painter. I rewatched your video about her business from 1 year ago. You were so accurate, Val. All seems to be going well with Meghan, to the disappointment of the UK press. Yeah. I mean, you can see it easily. You just look at the second house Lord. And you also want to look at the other charts too, her transit chart, her progressed transit chart. It's not always going to be perfect, but you can identify sometimes constant intake of success or even income. So Jan's here. How are you doing, Jan? From Wales. Yeah, Jan, UK press said Harry was in the hospital this week. So that's really interesting. I haven't really seen much about that. It makes me think it could be something that has to do with the heart, because when you see the seventh house here, this is, remember, Leo represents the heart. And so this could be like an irregular heartbeat. It could be exhaustion. It could be overheated because of Leo. And it can also represent the back too. Sometimes it can represent COVID, because remember, COVID started out as corona, the coronavirus. So that could also be something that's coming up. So there he is. It's around the summertime, and then also late June, maybe the first days of February. So here's Prince Harry's chart. Remember, I was talking about Virgo. So we've got Virgo here. And when you have all of these planets in the first house, I got to be honest, it's not my favorite, because I'm an introvert. I don't like a lot of people around me. I want to do my own thing. Aside from you guys, I don't want people physically in my way. And so that's what it kind of looks like for Prince Harry here. When you have a bunch of planets either in your first house, could be in your fourth house too, in your home. Maybe it's in your sixth house where you're seeing a ton of coworkers. That's what happened with Elizabeth Taylor when she was filming Cleopatra. There were thousands of coworkers that she had, and that was in Pisces, and they all got sick or they were drug addicts. So it's just a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy from a lot of people. And Virgo can represent, when poorly aspected, which it is, can show criticism, critics, but it can also show a health problem. Here we go, an opposition with Saturn and Neptune. Sometimes that can show paralysis. Virgo is really important. It's the pancreas. It's the tubing of the body. So this certainly could be some kind of health matter for Prince Harry that's coming up. Trying to think back with Meghan Markle's solar return. She's got Saturn, Neptune in Aries. Definitely seems like something is stopped for her. And this possibly could be Prince Harry's health. When you have the rising sign in Virgo, it can represent that somebody might see you as critical, if poorly aspected. Could also show maybe that you're dressed really well. Maybe you're going into the fashion industry that year to do something. Maybe people are seeing you in new clothes. Could represent something that has to do with a pet, maybe sadness of a pet. They have a lot of pets, though. Is there some kind of event that's happening with the pets for Prince Harry coming around September, October timeframe? Looks like no, but I got that again. The Five of Cups. What is this opposition that we're seeing here? Here it is. It's an opposition that could have something to do with health. This is health. This is health. He's having a hard time with something. What's Prince Harry? What's his health issue? Face painter, you said Harry was at the Nexus event in New York City. Jan White inferred breakdown, drugs, alcohol, but the UK press can't be trusted. Yeah. He looked tired when he gave that speech earlier this week. I agree, Jen. I hope he gets into medically supported healing retreat. Yeah, a lot in the UK press about H&M's children and titles. Two of Swords reversed. So maybe trying to make a decision or two people having a hard time, maybe a fight of some sort, opposition coming in. This is going to really affect Harry the month after his birthday. So September 15th to probably about October 5th. We've got something serious happening with Prince Harry here. It could be depression. Can you tell us a little bit more about this? Okay. The sun, this could be your body. Give us a clarifier card on what is going on with Prince Harry and his health. Nine of Pentacles reversed. There's a possibility that maybe it's not health, but it could be something that has to do with accounting. And I think the sun now represents the 12th house of charities, and it's right there in the front. You can also see when you have South Node right there in the first house, that can show someone, people see you as kind of sad that year. So there could be some bad news that's coming in, has to do with two careers, speaking, doing something with his career. There's certain things that he shouldn't be doing. See, let's look at Mercury. Mercury rules. Look at that. Mercury is his career. The sun represents the 12th house. This could mean something foreign career. So let's look at the trip. If he's going to have a foreign career this year, meaning he's going abroad, and the ninth house rules foreign places as well as the 12th. Let's look at where Venus is. Venus is over here. Now, Venus is in a T square. This is something shocking here. Now, usually Venus represents the wife for a husband. And it's almost like it's another confirmation that he's not going to see his wife as much as he wants. There's something kind of shocking that's happening. My guess is that maybe there's some kind of interruption in plans and they just don't have control over it. But the other thing too is that his charity, there's going to be maybe some reporting on the accounting or the numbers. Somebody's running the numbers and it looks like there could be some kind of analysis. And it's embarrassing when you have an opposition to Saturn. That's usually something that's kind of like you're ashamed or something that embarrasses you. Neptune can represent fraud too. Not to say that Prince Harry's involved in that, but there could be inferences of that in the press. And also keep in mind, I forgot about this, Virgo represents reporters. So there is they're sharpening their knives. Can you tell us more about the reporters here that are giving Prince Harry more of a hard time than usual, which is kind of shocking because how could you give anyone any more of a hard time? Give us some kind of a clue here with regard to Prince Harry and reporters in mid to late September. It's like a feeding frenzy. Queen of Swords reversed. I wonder if this is that charity. Maybe this is a Centibal kind of scandal. This is a scandal. And why do I say that? Because that Neptune is right in the middle of all this. Neptune is a scandal. So tell us more about this scandal. Harry seems to be walking into in his solar return for 2025, starting September 15th. Wow, the same one I got for Meghan, Five of Pentacles, but he's able to walk away from this, I think. Has to do with money. Maybe somebody who's no longer despairing. Definitely something that's upside down and has to do with money. Okay, Harry has a court case in January with Daily Mail. I did not know that. Queen of Pentacles reversed, money. Okay. Yeah, you think it's the charity scandal, Catherine. Sierra user, just a few weeks ago at grocery checkout, just about every magazine and tabloid had Harry on the cover. Also depression and anxiety diagnosed. When you break away with your family, it can put you in such a state of despair. And you can see that with him. He's sad. He's just very sad. When you have Virgo in the first house, that's also you talking to reporters. This is speaking because Mercury represents it's speaking, it's driving, it's being critical. Wow, he's really coming out. And this is a partner. This is a scandal, a scandalous partner. This is a foreign partner. But he's at war. He is definitely at war. It seems when you have an opposition to something in Aries, like Chiron or Neptune, it can show you feel like you're losing. And then there's another T-square here with Chiron and Aries and Jupiter up here in the 11th house. Jupiter is causing Prince Harry some problems as well. Jupiter is the fourth house, which is his home. So again, around November, December timeframe, it looks like there's something happening here. It could be finance, but I'm not sure if let's see if there's a change. I don't see anything in his chart about changing where he's going to live. But then around this time period, which is in Capricorn, Saturn aspects. And let's see. Yeah, it looks like around January he could be moving because there's a really nice aspect to Uranus. So this is what I want to know. Is Prince Harry going to move in the next 6 months? Looks like he's changing something. It looks big. It looks big. 2 of Cups reversed. Okay. Let's see a clarifier card for this. A clarifier card for Prince Harry moving within 6 months. 3 of Pentacles reversed. This is a kind of a group. And I remember I got this last time when we were talking about Scentiball. So maybe it's a possibility that there could be some kind of moving on, but it certainly seems like it could be his home. Where is Harry going to be moving next? Is there a location you can give us? Where is Prince Harry moving next in the next 6 months? 6 of Swords reversed. It looks like he's in the middle of something. Maybe he hasn't really decided yet what he wants to do. But a clarifier card for that. And again, the 5 of Swords reversed. It looks like there's some problems here. I do like the 5 of Swords. I like the 5 of Swords reversed. It seems like you're able to continue moving on. I hope they turn the royal train into a museum. It's really beautiful. Jan, royal family seems to be avoiding the public in UK. Yeah, I would think so after what happened with Prince William. They started putting some real positive right after all of that happened with the person who was trying to extract money in that secret polo tournament. Pretty scandalous the past couple of weeks, but the royal family's putting out real positive, almost immediately after that, put out positive press. Yeah, Jen, I agree. It seems as if when Harry speaks, it only gets worse for him. Jan, you said Charles said this week that he's retiring the royal train, getting rid of another UK institution due to cost cutting. Charles just bought two new helicopters, so he's not that concerned over costs. It's almost like they are going through twin issues. Like, Prince Harry had trouble with a charity, probably over accounting issues or money issues. Now Prince William has this issue with this, I guess she was in the art world and a very wealthy art world player, and she's causing scandal. Also a foreign woman. So it's weird how they're kind of getting the same type of energy there. So he's supposed to go to court. If it was January, yikes. January's not good. January is not good. Venus really comes in when it comes to court right here. This is the courthouse. So Venus is here, and it really looks like he's shocked again. He's not super excited, but it does look like he is receiving money. So it almost makes me think that he's getting criticized. It looks like no success here because of that square to Venus ruling courts. This is like the royal court. He is able to win something. And I think he's just going to keep getting more money. Could be something that has to do with a civil suit where he's receiving money of some sort. It's kind of like P. Diddy in a sense, because it's like, here's the good news, here's the bad news. He's got a bunch of T-squares in here, so it's not going to be an easy year, but he has got some great progress. I can't help but look at the 7th house, which is Meghan, North Node there in Pisces. He's having a problem here with something that has to do, I think this is more of his partnerships. I don't think it's Meghan. Meghan's kind of hiding out here. You're not going to see her when it comes to Harry's business, unless, of course, it's the photos or whatever. Let's look at his friends this year. So you look at the 11th house. That's in Cancer. That's not good. The moon is squaring Saturn and Neptune. So this looks like friends disappear or a friend might die. What are we looking at here? This looks like bad news for when it comes to a friend. Maybe it already happened, but this is his September 15th, 2025 solar return year. Are we looking at a something that has to do with a friend of his that passes away. Wow, I keep getting 5 of Pentacles reversed again. Maybe it still has to do with finances, but it's kind of like it is definitely a cut. It could be a cut of a contract, clarifier card, King of Wands. So it looks like maybe somebody in the royal court who really cuts it off with him and wants to move on, needs to make money, doesn't want to be attached to Harry. But is this somebody who dies? And this is going to be the 11th house lord of friends. Four of swords. Maybe not dies, but kind of just moves away from the friendship, isolates themselves. There's that isolation there. Moon is a friend squaring Saturn moon. Could be an overdose. Sometimes with Neptune, it can be, or just like being addictive to something. So that's the big T square for Harry. We got the second house here. This is a fight, some kind of fight, and it is a big fight. Why is it a big fight? Because Jupiter's in there. Jupiter's like as big as like the Titanic. That's how big that is. And we've got Chiron here, which is wounds. So this is trying to fight for finances. Saturn is also security. If I were to talk to him, I'd say, you got to drop that because you are not going to win that this year. He will not win it. He might make some more money for security for himself. He's not going to win that. This is Meghan's chart. I thought it was interesting. I put Donald Trump in here for the name asteroids. I put William in there. And here's Harry. So interesting how in Meghan's chart, you could see a T square with her husband, which is Jupiter, and William in Aries. So this is a big war. This goes all throughout her chart. So if she doesn't want this war, she would have to get divorced because Jupiter is a husband. You can't have that. If you want to get out of that T square, you really have to get out of the marriage. The problem is that if you subtract the husband, then you subtract the blue lines, which is her title. So you don't have the T square. Well, you don't have the title. I mean, everybody's going to be like, well, she doesn't have a title anymore, or she's got a pseudo title, whatever. But you can kind of see that there are benefits here. And the sun represents her second house of income. So it's hard. This is the case for anybody. You've got some opportunities, but you also have to deal with the challenges too. It certainly does seem like because of that Uranus, you could see that right in her fourth house. This is a big change. Her house gets rattled at the very least, and she's going to have to change something. So maybe she's going to change her show, and maybe she's going to put it in her house. Hopefully not, because we don't like that. We don't like changes in the house right now. Let's do one more card with regard to what could possibly happen for Meghan between now and October. What is the biggest issue that Duchess Meghan is going to have to deal with between now and October? Looks like somebody young, something little maybe. Looks like ideas. She's got a lot of ideas. Uranus represents an idea too. This is Venus and Uranus is a financial idea. She's got an idea. Okay, so tell us more about this idea. She's got a money idea. 9 of Pentacles. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. But there is some kind of drawback about it. And of course, it's going to be this new venture with the wine. That's going to be big. She's got a lot of fans. So it's sad that she would have to deal with everybody hating her, but every time they hate her, she makes more money. Well, let's see. What is the challenge for her with this amazing financial idea? So the sun reversed. So it doesn't look necessarily like it's going to be a win at first, I don't think. Yeah, it looks like Meghan has to pick and choose her battles. CR user, I listened to Spare on Audible. He reads it himself. I found it very interesting, but a little heartbreaking. Yeah, I did too. It was hard to listen to sometimes. Harry had his book Spare printed and out again in paperback all over the world. Yikes. Jen, I can't imagine Meghan moving out of California. Maybe moving to LA to work. The children have their passports. That's a good thing. Jen, yes, you always keep an eye on Black Moon Lilith for me, and that's in November. Black Moon Lilith in November. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that 1 month. And I mean, it's a scheme. It's a scheme, and I think it's Meghan's. I'm going to be honest. It's in Scorpio. When I think of that, I think of Gwyneth Paltrow and how she has, like, these kind of sexual products. She's got some Scorpio in her chart, so there could be that that's happening, and maybe there's a little embarrassment or something about it. The worst one is Harry. I mean, Harry is out of his mind this year, and this is really, I mean, it doesn't look good. I think the press is bringing it out in him. He's like, "I am gonna get revenge on these people. I don't care what it is." And so there could be some kind of bullying. Maybe ninth house bullying tends to be, more lawsuits. So he wants to get even, definitely wants to get even, and, that's what we have to deal with from year to year sometimes, the Leo and the Scorpio. Charles' birthday in November. Charles' birthday for release of new product. Oh my god, that would be terrible. Maybe just going below the radar, like a witness protection, just no more public contact. I'd be tempted to do that constantly in media, but I am a Cancerian. There was an offer of refuge for H&M by a friend after Tyler Perry court case. I know that's going on. I really think that Trump is in the middle of some of this year because we've got that Leo. We've got a bunch of Leo energy, and it's scary. It's like I think there actually might be some points where maybe she or her community, they are scared because whether it is crime or whether it's, ICE and going through homes, and there's just people are a little worried. Yeah, Harry is 40, often time of reflection and change. So, let me see here. Yeah, this is, I always look at these and I say this is a fall of some sort. And Scorpio, this is you try to get revenge on someone, you are going to be shocked. And this has to do with some kind of television. I think this might be a television type of, like an expose. So this could be around the holidays. I don't know who's working on it now. It seems like they are. And it is revenge related. Um, is there a is there some kind of expose being filmed about Harry and Meghan? And that would be coming up around the holidays. Let's see. That would be something shocking. They're like, oh my God, where did this come from? So, what is this expose? This is kind of like this revenge of spare, in a sense. Is there a? Let's just ask a if there is an expose about Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan. Ruh-roh. The answer is yes, and yeah, Harry's a king father. No king's marches are still happening. And what is this? I'll bet you it's financial, but what is this expose about? If we're looking at the cards and we're asking about Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan, what is this? Looks like a late fall expose. Yeah, starting something has to do with their money, or their new ideas, or maybe just trying to start something new. So, hopefully something positive can come out of it, but we'll have to see. Three of Cups reverse, group of people planning something. Yeah. Yeah, you can see this group. 2024 German expose of Meghan was delayed and not released last year. Thanks, Jan. Yeah, they make documentaries about Meghan and Harry all the time in Great Britain, but this might be like, one of those 60 minutes types of things, or something where it's like new information is coming out somehow. I hope not. I hope not. We wish the best for all. We don't want fear on any side. We want people to live peacefully and with harmony. We all learn our lessons. Val, why do you think the monarchy is threatened by them? Well, a lot of it has to do with the media because they take attention away. If they, and it that means they don't have control, especially with Princess Diana as sort of like a shared point of interest that's that they all have in common. And it's complicated. There's so many areas where Prince Harry can take attention away, can really irk the monarchy, and it's embarrassing to the monarchy, I'm sure. Rebecca for Daily Mail was saying Meghan should be careful what she wishes for. Sounds like a threat. Yeah, they've got to do all of that stuff. But what's so crazy is people are just, at least stateside, are obsessed with Meghan. So the more that she bullies, the more she makes money, like I said before. So it's kind of crazy. So, Angel, this is an amazing day for your sorcery. I love that. Welcome, and I shouldn't say welcome. Welcome for 21 months, but thank you so much again for supporting the channel. So, and if you guys like this show, like the content, please hit the join button, and that helps me so much. And also, don't forget that I've got readings available on astrologywithval.as.me. If you're a member of the channel, you can order a solar return chart, and I will send that to you. It's a recorded version of 12 months ahead. So it's pretty interesting. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. And I guess I'll see you either tonight or tomorrow. And we'll be talking about Koberger and P. Diddy. So see you then.